Good morning, stock traders, and welcome back to this terrific Thursday, June the 7th. I'm your host, Stock Sumo, and you know what time it is. Time to top off your cup of coffee here with Stock Traders Talk Radio as we begin to look through the markets. So open up your charts, turn on those scanners, and fire up your trading accounts. Joining us on this morning's program, we have Haas.
Good morning, Stock Sumo. How you doing this morning, man?
Good, man. I'm doing really good. I'd be doing a little bit better if our buddy Siffy was able to join us. Unfortunately, he had some personal business that he had to attend to, so we can't have him on the show, so it's just going to be me and you, bud.
Oh, we'll manage. We'll manage.
What do you got planned for this coming weekend?
You know, I'm not sure yet. I have a wedding fitting for my tuxedo on Saturday afternoon, and hopefully after that, maybe we'll get together for a little barbecue or something if the weather's nice. But I would love to get out golfing again if I can find some time this weekend. That's for sure. How about you?
Well, we got the LPGA in town, and I'm going to be hitting that up. Tiger Woods, his niece, is going to be making her first time appearance. I think she's like 21 years old. I'm not sure, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of skills she can bring and if she learned anything at all from Tiger.
That is pretty interesting, actually. I didn't know that, and I claim to be a Tiger Woods fan.
Yeah,
So.
the only reason why I heard about it is because I heard it on the news, the local news I was watching, and they mentioned that, so I'm pretty stoked. I always enjoy seeing the LPGA. Some of these females have an incredible amount of talent, and they make me feel pretty bad when it comes to golf. And it's always nice to check out these pro courses when the pros come into town because the courses are really tough, challenging, and makes for great play.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, golf is one of those sports where females can keep up with the males. Not as far as distance goes, but I mean, you have a few females on the tour who can hit it, 300 plus yards off the tee. And anytime you got that, and you can compete because they definitely have the touch when it comes to being around the greens and stuff like that. So
that's the thing about golf. It's not really how hard you hit it. If you can be consistently straight and accurate, you'll shoot good and you'll keep a low score. It's really about how smart you play, and that's what I've learned. I always try to swing too hard, and it ends up getting me into trouble. I end up slicing the ball. And when I try to compact things down and keep it simple, I end up playing better.
Yeah, for sure.
So you got a wedding coming up. What do you? When's the wedding that you have coming up?
The wedding is actually on September 8th, I believe. It's for a hockey buddy of mine who I met a couple of years ago through hockey, actually. And so, yeah, I haven't been in a wedding in a while since my brother's wedding, so...
with the wedding, you get the bachelor party. Those
That's what I'm excited about, man. That's what I'm excited about. I get to plan a little bachelor party, so it should be a good time. Should be a good time. He's a good buddy of mine. We've been playing hockey together for a few years out here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I'm happy for him.
Nice,
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, good stuff. Well, why don't we just jump right into today's action? I'm sure you got a couple of good things lined up. I know you've been banging them out of the park one after another, calling these hot tickers before the bell, and then they end up having a really tremendous day. So, I'm going to keep it, short here with our fun talk, and I'll let you talk about what people really want to hear about, and that's about stocks, because I know you got some more interesting ones for us today. So why don't you take it away, bub?
Yeah, I got a couple of interesting plays we can bring about. I know you and I have been talking about the one I want to talk about first for quite some time, since down in the 002s and 003s. EMWW, Extreme Mobile Holdings, okay? Or Extreme Mobile Coatings, sorry, excuse me. As we can see, starting off on DD Amanda here, we have real low dollar volumes traded, really quiet stock all the way back as far as December 2011. And, a couple of higher trading days here. But for the most part, pretty quiet until about late April here, April 24th, April 25th. We start getting volume down in this 002 area. It's pretty slow and steady for a little while, a couple of bigger days, 60,000, 20,000. And as you can see, moving up from 002 to 008 area on relatively low volume for the most part. So pretty thin share around that time. Quiets down for a couple of weeks and then starts heating up over the last couple of weeks again as the company's been putting out some pretty significant updates if you've been paying attention at all. And let's go check those out. Let's actually start on pink sheets here. EMWW closed at 0062 yesterday, which was up 24% on the day yesterday. Scrolling down here, we can get a current share structure on pink sheets here. We see the outstanding share count is 562 million roughly, and the float sitting at around 244 million with an authorized share count of about 1 billion, and those are very, very current as of about a month ago. The first thing I want to look over, and around the time when this company started heating up, is this initial company information and disclosure statement. If you go and click on financials on pink sheets here, we can see that around May 4th, 2012, May 8th, 2012, they started releasing some annuals and quarterlies and getting updated with their financial statements to get the over-the-counter pink current information status. They were actually limited status, so anytime you see that with a company, they're ready to start talking or they're ready to start updating their shareholders, make some sort of change with the company. So that's just something you need to pay attention to. If you see that, you can expect more news in the future most of the time. All right, so that's when we started, getting a little bit hot and heavy on this stock, expecting some updates. You see the attorney letter, respect current info, another one here on May 11th. But what I want to take a look at in particular is on May 11th, which gave us some clues as to what the company was planning to do in the future here. Initial company information and disclosure statement. So let's go take a look at that. Click on that. Structural Enhancement Technologies Corp., May 11, 2012. Info disclosure statement. You can find a lot of good information in an information and disclosure statement when a company is getting current on pink sheets about their future plans, okay? This is just going to give a huge history on the company and various name changes and business focus changes that the company has gone through. I usually skip through that because I want to know the most current information related to the company just within the last couple of years. But some key information that you're going to get out of this, you're obviously going to get a share assessment as of May 2nd, 2012, total of 562 million issued and outstanding. That's what we just saw on pink sheets. And, as of December 31st, 2011, they had 62 million. So there's some sort of restructuring there to where the company is changing in significant ways. And if you scroll down, you'll see where a lot of those shares are right now. It's actually in the hands of insiders. Let's see if we can scroll down and find this here. Right here, beneficial owners. You have Andrew B. Mazzone, CEO, 102 million shares. Charles Woodward, 102 million shares. DLPNY Incorporated, 100 million shares. Advanta Capital Management Incorporated, 40 million shares. So the securities held by some of the insiders and some other large funds providing funding for the company. So lots of shares in insider hands, which is why we see the much, much lower float than the actual outstanding share count. Float around 240, I think it was, and the total outstanding around 560 million. All right, so let's scroll down a little further. And another thing that I like to look for in these information and disclosure statements is management's discussion and analysis or plan of operation. It tells you what's going on with the company now and what are the plans for the future, all right? So they talk about their wholly owned subsidiary, Extreme Mobile Coatings Incorporated, basically providing various antimicrobial coatings and other coatings with basically any surface that, can experience any sort of damage or rust, your boat, they can coat your boat surfaces, car surfaces, anything like that. And this Extreme Mobile Coatings Incorporated subsidiary is bringing in around, I think, 50 to 100,000 in revenues annually right now. So not something that's so out of the park that it makes you super interested, but they're bringing in some revenues. It's a smaller subsidiary. But if you scroll down on this and you keep reading through that, it actually talks quite a bit about other sorts of acquisitions and mergers that they may plan to do in the near future, and that's a key tip that you want to know because it leads into the news they just put out recently. All right. If you scroll down here, let's see if I can find anything else. I'm not sure if there's anything else I wanted to talk about on this one. Nope. All right, so we're done with that. All right, so moving over, this is just an example of their site. Extreme Mobile Coatings Incorporated talks a little bit about their antimicrobial coating products, their marine vessel hull protection coating products, but that's not even the subsidiary in the company that I'm even interested in, so we'll just skip past that. If you look to the news that they put out yesterday, June 6th, 2012, post-market, 5:57 p.m., very significant news for the company. Structural Enhancement Technologies Corporation announced that it has reached an agreement and entered into a letter of intent to acquire privately held Challenger Brands Corporation. So they're acquiring this private company. So what does this private company do? Challenger Brands Corporation is a renewable energy oil company in the business of blending, bottling, and distributing private label motor oil, transmission fluid, and related products for the automotive aftermarket. These products are sold both direct and through distributors to retail outlets that include oil change shops, automotive aftermarket chains, gas stations, department stores, and convenience stores, yada yada. So basically they're expanding now. Not only do they have their coating products, but they're acquiring this private company in a renewable energy oil sector. All right. So very interesting products here. I'm very interested to hear what sort of numbers as far as revenues that this Challenger Brands Corporation is bringing in. And I would highly anticipate that the company would release some numbers related to those revenues and what revenues it would contribute to EMWW in the very near future, as well as the actual structure of this acquisition that they're carrying out here. Another thing to note is we'll probably see some management changes here. Where does it say this? Lastly, as mentioned in our previous press release, a new management team with expertise in the energy sector will be brought in to run the new company. We hope to have news on that shortly. So you're going to see some news on management changes shortly, and they're going to bring in some management that's more geared towards the energy sector, and very likely in particular the renewable energy sector in the very near future. So you can always pick out some bits and pieces about what the company is going to update shareholders on in the very near future. So that's, for the most part, what I want to talk about with EMWW. Lots of chatter on the iHub boards over the last week or so here. It took a little bit of a dip. It was struggling a little bit on level 2 there as it quieted down, but significant news release yesterday, and lots of pretty big names on the iHub board for EMWW. I'm going to hand it over to Sumo here real quick so he can take a look at the chart. I'm not sure exactly how that's looking, but take it away, Sumo.
All right, let's pull up the daily chart, and we're going to take it back 1 year. You can see from July to November, there wasn't a lot of volume into the stock. And then starting November, the volume started to pick up. It had a little bit of a move up to 4 cents, and then a lot of heavy selling pressure causing the downward slide. And then it found support at about 0016, and you've seen the bounce up into March all the way on up to 012 with some increasing volume, and then you've seen it pull back, consolidated, had a little bounce off of that 0022 mark up to 005, came back down to that 002 again, and then recently you saw it hit a high of 0125. So it's been making some nice swings. Like Haas said, we've been talking about this one since between April and May, when it was down in the 002 to 003 range. So a nice move that it made for us over the past couple months, and it's then consolidated and found support at a higher low of 0046. Let's go down the chart a little bit and take a look at the RSI, and you can see that the RSI is trying to get through the 50 line and break above the 50 overlay. So I want to see that RSI get past the 50 line. Currently the RSI is sitting at 49.36. So I want to see that keep moving up north, get through that 50 line and through the 50 overlay. The 50 overlay is currently at 52.90. You got the PPO that looks like it's showing a hint of convergence. Notice that green line is starting to bend and wanting to curl up, and I'd like to see that line move north and cross through the red line, and that cross would be a bullish indicator, and I'd like to see that PPO get above the 50 overlay. We always look for these these indicators to move above the 50 overlay because that shows strength. Right now the slow stow is at an oversold point. You're seeing a hint of a curl up. I want to see that line continue to go north, bust through the 50 line and the 50 overlay. So there's some room for these indicators to heat up. If the volume can increase, then we might see those indicators head the way that we want them to go. So we'll be looking for an increase in volume to confirm a price per share move up. All right, back to you, Haas, for the next one.
Rock on. This one might be a little bit shorter, but I'm not going to guarantee anything. But we probably well, maybe you want to do a chart on this one. I'm not sure. The dollar volume traded with this stock has been low for a long, long time, so it might not even be worth it. Ticker NTRO. I know most of you have came across this stock at one time or another, Nitro Petroleum Incorporated. As you can see on DD Amanda, we got the dollar volume on the left side here. Really, really low for several months. All right. And this is a pretty thin share, so, you just have some interesting fluctuations on relatively low volume. So not much to tease out from DD Amanda, other than the fact that we've had real low dollar volumes for a long time around the stock. All right. So let's go to pink sheets. As we can see, over-the-counter pink, no information. So I always proceed with caution at that point. The company's not going to be too adept at updating its shareholders on everything that's going on all the time, but companies do that for various reasons. But there's some chatter and rumors out there, especially now that the company's been putting out some press releases and some financial information that they're going to work on getting this to over-the-counter pink current information. So keep your eyes on that. As we just saw with EMWW, once a company starts updating their financials, getting all that stuff in order on pink sheets, usually they're ready to provide some new information for their shareholders to benefit the share price, as we've seen with EMWW there. All right, so Nitro Petroleum Incorporated, ticker NTRO. The first thing I would go to is the company information page, obviously, and get an idea of maybe the current share structure depending on how current it is. And as we see here, as of December 14th, 2010, it was 140 million shares. So right off the bat, over-the-counter pink, no information. They haven't updated their share structure on pink sheets since December 2010, so I'm not even going to pay attention to that. Very unlikely that the share structure is still 140 million shares outstanding. But if you go to recent news, company's been putting out some pretty key updates. On March 14th, 2012, they put out a nice little financial condition and result of operations update, so we're going to go check that out first. Tons of good little bits in here. Nitro Petroleum Incorporated pleased to announce the company's annual financials for the year end January 31st, 2012 is now available for review. So a little bit more archaic financials here. They're just kind of, putting it out in a press release and not audited financials. But for the fiscal year end, January 31st, 2012, the company had a revenue of around $500,000 from the production of oil and gas. So they're a producing oil and gas company, all right, and about $500,000 in revenues over the course of the previous year as of the end of January, as compared to $144,000 in the previous year. All right, so growing rapidly from $144,000 in revenues to $533,000 in revenues. What is that? That's like 369% increase, as they state right here. Very significant increase in revenues. Obviously, this is when they were in the very, very early stages of entering into production from development of these oil and gas wells and now they're ramping up BOPD per day, barrels of oil production per day, and increasing their revenues quite dramatically, actually, and we'll get more into that in a little bit here. But operational expenses for 2012, $500,000 down from $761,000 the previous year. So reducing operational expenses by 30.2%. Increasing revenues while reducing operational expenses, always a good thing for shareholders, improving that bottom line. We are currently having the company's oil and gas reserves evaluated, and we will announce the results soon. So they're assessing their oil and gas reserves. We're going to expect press on that soon, and we'll go over that in a second here. Very exciting time for Nitro Petroleum Incorporated, as we believe this year the company will be in a positive cash flow status. Very significant there. And in addition, the company has 3 additional recompletion opportunities and a drilling prospect that it is to start this year. So we can expect some pretty good news at some point this year related to other properties that they own, other oil and gas wells that they plan to put into production in the near future. Thank you for your continued support. All right, so that's a very significant update that we got there in March. If this would please go back for me. Let's click on this back. That works. And yesterday they put out 2 other key releases that people should start paying attention to. On June 6, 2012, yesterday, Nitro Petroleum Incorporated Keeneland Project. All right, this is where they hold 3 very significantly producing wells for this company right now. Nitro Petroleum Incorporated is pleased to announce that we have completed the Keeneland Project. We are currently producing approximately 38 barrels of oil per day on the Keeneland Project. The company will continue to evaluate and make the necessary adjustments to improve the oil and water ratios. The company expects the production rate to stabilize in the range of 55 to 60 barrels of oil per day. All right, so we got a company probably around 35 to 40 barrels of oil per day, bringing in $500,000 in revenues. So if they ramp up to that 60 barrels of oil per day, that's another 50% on that. So that'll be, pretty close to $1 million in revenues, all right, for the year 2012, just with this Keeneland project and these 3 wells that they own 21% in this Keeneland number 1, 49% interest in Keeneland number 2, and 39% in Keeneland number 3. We'll keep you advised of all progress. So another key release there, pretty significant. They're going to ramp up that production, which will increase their revenues even further on those 3 wells that they're already producing from. And obviously another key release, Nitro Petroleum Incorporated, first quarterly financials ending April 30th, 2012. Let's click on that and check that out. Looks like we got to go over to the page here. All right. Excuse me. Let's see here. Do they give us a share structure update up top here? I'm not sure that they do, to be honest with you. Nope. All right. But we can note some pretty significant things. Assets. They go into great detail about the exact assets that they have here, but the main thing that I want to know right now is total assets. All right, and that is just under $1 million, $879,211 in total assets. And liabilities right here. I want a total liabilities number. Most of that's going to be accounts payable, of course, but where are we at here? Total current accounts payable, long-term liabilities, $308,000. That's basically total liabilities, and then you factor in shareholder equity, and that bumps it up to the $879,000 to match out the balance sheet. But the asset to liability ratio, other than shareholder equity, is very, very good, $879,000 to $308,000. So almost 2-to-1 asset to liability ratio there. Very, very good, as they improve their revenues and reduce operating expenses as well. Another key note here, they split it up here. This is some gross revenues from their Keeneland project, but they only have, as I mentioned, a 21% interest, 39 and 49% interest in those wells. So they actually go what the actual company interest is here. So it looks like from February 1st, 2012 to to April 30th, 2012, so the most previous quarter, total sales of $235,000 just within that quarter. So as I mentioned, they're going to be at about $1 million in revenues for 2012 there. And that's just basically proving that that's for one quarter times 4. It's going to be about $1 million from their current producing wells. But more significant than that is the actual net profit for the company interest. They actually turned a net profit this quarter. So they talked about getting into cash flow positive status. And, they're basically there right now. So very, very significant little note there. And as that cash flow increases even more, they can use some of that extra cash to put more oil wells into production and increase the bottom line even more in the future. So that's a very significant point for an oil and gas company to get to, where they have the cash flow coming in to expand, acquire more operating wells, faster, instead of having to go and search out for some sort of funding that could potentially dilute shareholders. All right. So real good stuff there. I believe that's the last thing I wanted to go over from the actual financial statement here. Yes. All right, so let's move over to the iHub. One thing I want to note is a more current share structure. If you scroll down in the iBox, someone must have called the transfer agent at Pacific Stock Transfer here on March 7th, 2012. Pink Sheets was only shown as current as of 2010. But as we can see here, someone called the transfer agent. We have 207 million shares outstanding. 76 million of those are restricted. So we're sitting at about a free trading public float of 131 million shares with 2 billion authorized up there. So pretty decent share structure. And, it talks a little bit about their specific properties and stuff like that. But for the most part, I just wanted to go into that for the actual share structure. And a couple other notes. Wealthy King here, he's been around Nitro Petroleum for quite a long time. I believe he's in touch with management quite a bit as well.
Wasn't this a H-Dog? Wasn't he on this a while back too?
No idea.
I remember playing this one before, I believe. I think I did decent on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This one's had some interesting swings in the past for sure. But they've been quiet for the past several months, as far as I know, especially shown on DE Amanda there. Hasn't been much volume around this one for a while. But the company's starting to talk a little bit here. Wealthy King, phone conversation with the CEO on June 5th, 2012 here. We see after Entro puts out filing, I decided to call the CEO about it. He stated that Entro will continue to file financials. They always will. And the 10Q is going to be out very soon. We just went over that. The reason for the filing is to avoid the mandatory costly filings that the SEC requires. Express that Entro will be updating with Pink Sheets, and the stop sign will be removed, and Entro will be current. Good stuff. All right, yeah, he mentioned that PR production numbers, which they actually did just put out yesterday as well. And they're working on reviewing their oil reserves and plan to complete an audit of the company's financials later this year. So lots of stuff coming up here for Entro as they expand oil production. Let's get into the market action. What's going on?
We got a gap up on RARS. She gapped up 0138, currently trading at 12.9 cents this morning. That's ticker symbol RARS. Up 11.98% here out of the gate. We got BMSN up a little bit here this morning, up almost 4% out of the gate, trading 1 million shares. Last trade 006, 0057 to be exact. TCLN making a moves this morning. Tex Lone Star, Tango Charlie, Larry Nancy. It's up 24% on 1.46 million shares in volume. BMSN, keep chugging along here. 0065 last trade, up 18%. RARS, 13 cents going here. Gapped up, and she's busting a little move up 13% this morning.
stuff. All right, let's pull up some other stuff. I don't know. I figure EMWW is gonna be hot this morning, but I could be wrong. Looks like EMWW at 316,000 in share volume, up 19.4% last trade. 0074, 0069 by 007 spread. Gonna want to keep a keen eye on market maker Vert. He was doing some fishy stuff. Probably, I don't know if it was dilution or shorting or what. But as it was up in Pennyland just a little bit while ago, but he's off the lowest ask right now. If he stays off of that, this thing can move pretty easy. BMSN, 007 by 007's 5 spread right now. Nice bid support there on 007. Looks like about 650,000 shares. Ask looks pretty thin to 008 right now. Over 2 million in volume now, up 27.3%.
Yeah, BMSN looking strong. Excellent call, my friend.
Thing's a beast. Me and Siffy were chatting about that one. I had him pull up a chart at 004 yesterday. And I was like, this thing just looks ready to go to 006. I think an hour later it was at 006, and it broke through that like there was nothing in its way, and it's still beasting. But
I'm seeing some unusual activity. Don't mean to cut you off on ECOB. This thing had a 1 million share buy pre-market. That's Eco Building Products, Inc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they put out press this morning, I believe. I was going to go over that if we had time.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and talk about that?
Yeah, and go check it out here.
There's going to be a key resistance at 10 cents, but they're really showing some large buys coming through out of the gate. I'm seeing 20,000, 48,000, 20,000, 20,000, all hitting the ask here at 9 cents. A little bit of resistance here at 9 cents. Let's see if it can get over it.
Eco Building Products Incorporated announced today the company has been awarded another custom home order by TR Worcester Construction Company Incorporated to supply Eco Red Shield protected lumber. So it looks like another order on sale with this construction company in Los Angeles, it looks like. Los Angeles County. So, good stuff. Show me that cheese. Alright, let's see here. What else we got going on?
BMSN is looking the strongest out of anything that we've been talking about. Up 36.36% on 3.7 million shares in volume. Very nice move and a nice continuation after yesterday's pop.
All right, let's check out some top lists here.
46 trades already on BMSN. Nice.
Let's see here. You mentioned ECOB.
Looks like they're trying to chew through the offer at 9 cents. Like I said, there's key resistance at 10 cents on ECOB.
CLNO started beasting yesterday. I think there's a promotion out on that one. I think it's looking pretty good again this morning.
I did see some emails on that.
Yeah, that one started to bust out yesterday. Looking okay again this morning. 9.62 by 9.7 cent spread right now at 9%. 412,000 share volume so far today. Alright, let's find another one here.
Alright, let's see what's going on the old percentage gainers list. Not a whole hell of a lot to talk about here this morning. You got HPCS, that's Harry, Papa, Charlie, Sally, is up 51%. I believe I was calling for a bottom on this one not too long ago. Let's go look at our message board and see if I was correct or not on that. I believe I called. HPCS.
NLUV is looking pretty good this morning. We got some fat bids at 1.6 cents, a few 100,000 shares, 1.6 by 1.64 cent spread right now. 2.7 million in volume, up 14.3%.
Another one on a lot of promotions lately.
Yep. And BMSN wants to move. Let's see here. TWWI getting a little bit of action again today. Started heating up yesterday. There were a couple of newsletters that went out on it. I believe there's a couple more today. Thrive Worldwide. Looks like they put out some more press this morning. 002 by 0021 spread. Almost 6 million in volume so far.
WIFM. Not much volume going on there, but it's up 50% on 124,000 shares last trade, 003.
Alright, let's find one here. How's IMDS doing today? That one broke that 0005 area yesterday. It looks like it broke back down below it now. This one is real thick. I'd be very careful with this one right now. Some decent bid support there on 0004 though. See if it holds. AGRT still hanging tough, up in the 50s here. 31,000 volume. 56.98 cent last trade, up 3.6%. Nice 100,000 share bid on 55 cents there.
RARS is bouncing back. She partially filled the gap, dipped down to a low of 12.1, currently back to 12.85. And ECOB is up to its resistance point at 10 cents. A lot of volume this morning so far, 1.9 million in volume on ECOB. If she can break through that 10-cent mark, that's going to be a huge resistance point to break. And the next key resistance is going to be 11 cents. Looks like we're seeing some large ask slaps, and there's a lot of market makers on the bid at 9 cents, so could possibly get through here this 10 cents. 48,000 on the offer from E-Trade on ECOB. Then you got a couple other market makers showing 5,000.
Yeah, RARS, I saw a big fat 770,000 share order going through here at 9:39. That's not a small order by any means.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple of those this morning though, so. BMSN forming some support here at 007. Current spread 0071 by 0073. Looks like
4.5 million in volume.
Yeah, this thing's just a beast. They put out press a little while ago on one of their partners, Regino something. I'd have to go check, but 20 million in theoretical funding in the future if the company needs it. And then I think yesterday there was another big debt restructuring that was very positive for the company.
Cool.
All right, let's check out the hot.
Yeah, so far BMSN has been looking the strongest out of anything that we've been talking about.
Definitely. Looking at WGAS, WGAS. This one was about to break the 1 cent mark yesterday, and I was telling myself, I'm like, if this breaks the 1 cent mark, I'm going to buy it because it's going to 1.5. And unfortunately, I didn't catch the 1 cent break. And next time I looked, it was 1.2, but up 8.3% again this morning, 1.3 cents last trade. Current spread is 1.3 by 1.45 cents. Pretty thick ass there, 180,000 shares on 1.45 cents, but 300,000 in volume again today. They put up some pretty significant press yesterday, which caused a few eyes to come this way, but it's looking good again this morning. BMSN. Beast.
Yeah, I wonder who called that one.
I don't know.
Oh, that's right, Haas. Good job, buddy.
Oh, I didn't call it. I'm not taking credit for this one. I caught the interest at about 004, but
Allie Angel was the first one that posted on our board way back.
On BMSN?
Yep.
Yeah, he tends to find these things pretty early. He's a good little due diligence dude. He's the DDD, due diligence dude. Now, I believe they have some stem cell therapies in clinical trials and stuff like that. So, pretty cool little technology company. Man, CLNO support here at 9 cents and above is looking pretty strong.
ECOB trading at 10 cents still, trying to get above that resistance. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback if it can't break through that 10 cent mark. If she can break through it, then it'll be interesting to see where the next resistance is going to be. But I'm really liking the level 2 action thus far. Why don't you pull up a level 2 on ECOB real fast?
Yeah, I got it up.
Okay, great.
It's up there right now. It's definitely some decent support here at 9.2. It looks like a few more market makers right under that at 9 cents, but it's thinning out in these nines here. Anytime you got a 9.2 cent by 9.69 cent spread, it's thinning out a little bit. But the ass looks real thin, at least to the 10 cent mark, anyways. Last trade at 9.85, up 29.6%, just under 2 million volume so far.
Why don't you pull up a level 2 on VPER? Let's see how that one's been doing it. It's been consolidating after that big run that we saw that we were keen in on well in advance. So we've seen it come down, settle. It seems to be trying to find support here. The other day it ran up to as high as 0027. That's going to be a little bit of a resistance point. But looking at the level 2, looks like there's 4 market makers on the bid at 0024, and the offers look relatively thin.
This one has been a trader's paradise in that 002 to 005 range. It's done it twice already, I think, and I don't know. I'm kind of want to get some in the low 2s if we see them here. Let's go find another one. I always have a million stocks I want to look at, and then I forget what they are when we actually get to this point. Surge, beasting again. Let's take a look at that level 2. $1.28 by 1.44 cents. Last trade at 1.44, up 12.5% again today. 821,000 in volume. I like it. I like it. Man, HPCS getting some sick volume. Up 64.4% on 2.8 million shares traded. This one always gets hot and heavy around said big promotion coming up supposedly Monday. Frankly, this one's just too scary for me to touch.
I'm excited for tonight's interview. Don't forget to tune in at 8:05 tonight. The interview is going to get underway. Should be just shortly after 8 o'clock with ICPA. It's always a pleasure to have Steve Samblis on our show. ICPA is making a little bit of a gain today. It's up almost 9%. It's over the 5-cent mark. Current spread of 0505 by 052. And it's traded 51 trades on the day, and that's over 1 million shares in volume. ICPA has just been an absolute beast in the past. I love it when Steve comes on. He's always got good and exciting things to talk about, so it'll be interesting to hear what he's got to discuss tonight.
Yeah, there's some pretty good bid support there at 4.95 and 5.05 cents. 300,000 share bid on 4.95. 130,000 share bid on 5.05. Current spread 5.07 by 5.2. Nice. Yeah, this one continues to surprise me, that's for sure. I'm sure Steve will have some good stuff in store for tonight. BMSN, a nice fat 1 million share bid at 0072. 0072 by 0074 spread. Your ECOB still holding that 9-cent bid support there, which is the last trade, up 18.4%, almost 2 million in volume now. Ask SAD still is pretty thin.
I'd like to talk about U.S. Steel. Ticker
Roll.
X. You can't hate on good old U.S. Steel. This one has been good to us in the past, and she's just coming off of a bottom, up 4% today. I don't have my options genius, Sifikita, to tell me what the options are doing, but I'm sure if he was here, he'd be able to let us know that this option trade would be a beast right now. Anytime a stock makes a 4% move, I'd be interesting to see what the option is doing. But look at it coming off its bottom. It came off of this area back in October, and look, off the 1875 in October, ran as high as 32.41 in February. Now we're seeing it bounce off of that low again, and U.S. Steel, to me, is super sexy here because they were talking about it on CNBC the other day, how it was down 25% on the year, and I think, to me, this is a good time to load it up while it's cheap and play it for this rebound. As you see it come off of this bottom, it's showing some strength, and we're seeing 2 solid green days in a row. Today will mark the 3rd solid green day in a row if she can keep trading the way she is. It was as low as $20.62 today and as high as $21.13. So there was a gap up this morning and followed by some sideways trading action. So we'll see what ticker symbol X, that's U.S. Steel, wants to continue to do here. Good stuff.
Looks like IMDS getting a few hits on 0005 and a couple million on support at 0005. Now 0005 by 0006. 28 million volume. This one's been getting lots of action, real thick. This is the one where we had the quadruple V down at like 0004 the other day. That's what I think you called it. ICPA getting some nice smacks on 5.2 cents. Looks like the bid moved up 132,000 shares on 5.1 cents now, pushing a little bit higher. Let's check out KMAG. I don't have any good financials yesterday. HPRM. GWBU still in beast mode, up 14.3%, $1.76. This one was near touching that $2 mark. Obviously on massive, massive promotion, but we're still seeing the giant 1.5 million share bids trying to push this higher through Vert there at 173, as you see. Over 2 million in volume traded today again.
All right, just about through the first half an hour of trading so far today, so we should start to see things slow down as amateur half hour rolls to a close here.
Well, there's no slowing down in BMSN. Now the spread is 0077 by 0078. Last trade 0076 by 38.2%. So
nice. I like how they're keeping her tight. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. Nice fat million share bid moving up there to the 0075 support area now. So real good bid support at 0075 and above as we get some smacks on 0078, up 41.8% again. 7 million in volume. Beast. 10 grand written all over it.
75 trades on the day.
They like it. They like it. Oops. There we go. Good stuff.
Ooh, BMSN just broke to the 008s. Yeah, baby. Go, baby, go.
Yeah, this thing's definitely in beast mode. I wouldn't be surprised to see it any day by any means. Huge fat bids, million shares worth on 0078 there now. Current spread 0081 by 0083 now by 0085. And ask looks really, really thin up to that 1 cent mark.
You want winners? Haas will bring them to you. Tune in to STT Radio.
I give credit to our excellent STT Radio crew, our excellent STT Radio scanners through our various platforms, including our extra special DD Amanda. Love me some DD Amanda. Wow, this thing is just rolling now. Was there a key resistance point that we just broke out of or something?
No, let me pull up the chart and take a look here.
Yeah, this thing's in beast mode, man. Million shares sitting on 0085 now. Current spread 0088 by 0089. She's rolling. She's rolling. Wow. Definitely some loading going on.
Well, she broke through the 50-day moving average at 0077. That was the last moving average to get through. And she's pretty much in blue skies at this point. Looking at the pivotal points and the resistance points on the chart that we got up, the next pivotal point is going to be 0148. Then after that, 0278. After that, 0519, and then 062. So
Yeah.
if this baby can get rolling and get past that 0148, there isn't much resistance on up until 0278. So there's a lot of possibilities for this one and which way it could go. If it doesn't get back up, through those resistance points, then expect a little bit of retrace, but I definitely want to see it hold above this 0077, which is the 50-day moving average.
Yeah, when I said I wouldn't be surprised to see a penny today, I didn't mean 5 minutes later. Jesus.
0093 by 0096. She's rolling 8.8 million in volume. Boom. Love it.
Me and Sippy clearly should have bought the 004s yesterday. Jeez.
004s, you called it on the chart. Now we're up over 125%. 0095 by 0096. He said it was going to a penny, folks. Didn't believe it was going to go within the next 10 minutes. Thought by the day's end. But look at this thing go. What an exciting runner we got with BMSN.
Well, as always, the chart's going to speak a little bit. We saw a little resistance there in those high sevens at that 50 DMA that you just mentioned, and once it broke that, it started rolling like a beast. Beast mode. 650,000 share bid 0096.
All morning long we were talking about the strength that it had and saying how it looked the best out of anything that was hitting our scanners, and you see it go here. She wants to break this penny mark. She's going to try to get over it, so...
She just rolled through it, bud.
Boom!
Holy cow.
Like a hot knife through butter.
Beast. Wow. Congrats to those who have been loading the boat the last couple of days. This thing is beasting. Yeah, this is one of those situations where, you get a big capital group involved providing that much funding. And everyone and their mothers is going to hear about it, and they obviously have the connections to push stocks if they want to, so definitely some money flow. She broke the penny mark. All right, we need to end on this because it just doesn't get much better than this.
I hear that.
Some nice fat bids moving up around that 1 cent area, but Haas is out. I'm going on mute. I'm done talking. I can't beat that. So
nice work.
Let's roll out Sumo.
She's off to the races, folks. BMSN. We told you once. We told you twice. We told you 8 times. Keep it on your radar. Haas, hats off to you for another big winner. Siffy, better be back here tomorrow because we miss him, man. But great stuff as always. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to be back here at 8 o'clock tonight for Steve Sambliss interview. IC Places, Stock Traders Talk Radio. We're out.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.